Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crav'in Iron Podcast. This is episode 16. Today, I'm here with Dante Patrella. I think this is a special episode because Dante Patrella actually is a host of his own podcast, and it's called DemoCast. And yeah, I mean, we both have the same goals. We both have the same ideas in mind when it comes to the podcast with individuals like ourselves that are just hardworking motherfuckers, like the average individuals of the world that have our own stories to tell. And yeah, we have our same motivation when it comes to the podcast. So how's it going, Dante?
Not too bad, Steven. How you been? End of the week. Good way to end the week, I think, with a nice little chat and a podcast,
Yeah, of course. So figured in this episode, I've never told my story, and Dante, obviously we're going to get your story out there. And yeah, so we can start with yours. So this podcast is mainly to get everybody's story out there and motivate others by hearing your story. And I know you play rugby, which is a fucking intense sport, by the way. Like intense.
Thank you.
I played football, but I mean, we have pads, and I mean, it's the same shit, but you're just unpadded. And
Well, I started playing rugby because of football, because my junior year of high school, I stopped playing football. I forget why. I wanted to focus on track or some bullshit reason. Maybe I just was too lazy, because like in high school I was lazy, but that's another thing. And then our new superintendent came in, he brought the rugby program in, and I was like, you know what? Kind of want to get back into football. Maybe this will kind of like strike some interest. People were trying to tell me to get on the team because I think I'd be good. And I started playing rugby, and I did fairly well, I guess I would say, even though, yeah, I guess I was fairly well for a starter. And that brought me into football. But then senior year of football, I was playing a defensive line. I was set to start, and I got cracked pretty bad in the head during camp, I guess. And my best friend at the time was like, yo, coach, you got to get this guy off the field, because I was like trying to squirt water in my mouth, but I was like completely missing my mouth, but I thought I was getting water in my mouth. So that pretty much, and I tried coming back after a concussion injury because I wanted to play in the first opener game of the season, and that kind of made my concussion even worse. So I was pretty much out for the whole season, didn't have any film, didn't really have any offers to go to school to play football. So that's where rugby came in. I got an offer to play D1A rugby at Wheeling Jesuit University, and I took it. Never looked back.
where do you play at? What state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania right now, but I went to college in West Virginia, Wheeling, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know any rugby teams, at least around this area, and just seems not rare, but football's like bigger here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear rugby, I think of like out of the United States ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My buddy went to one of my best friend, the one that actually helped me with the concussion. He played rugby too, and we were the only D1A players to come out of our senior class to go to play rugby. And he went to the University of Arizona, and they're like one of the top 20 teams in the nation, college-wise. And it's a pretty big deal too. Like if you start looking into it more, like you'll start seeing that rugby is that popular in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been in Arizona for I guess 5 years now, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna look into it because that's like I said, dude. It's football is one thing, but then you got rugby where you're just fucking each other up.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool because there's different kind of games with it too. They got sevens, which is 7-on-7, 7-minute halves. You got 15s, which is a full 90 minutes. And if you like watching trick plays and stuff, you see like the Islanders, the Pacific Islanders, the Samoans, the Fijians, and New Zealand. They got all these like fancy hands and passes and stuff. It's just crazy. Like if you just watch it for like only 10 minutes, you're gonna be like mind blown because you're not gonna know what's going on. And two, you're just going to be like, how do they do this?
Yeah, no kidding. So, Dante, what's your story, man? What makes you the man you are today? Like, where are you from? You got kids? I know you're with Carly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess like, so I already told you about the origin of rugby. That's pretty much how I started as well. Me in high school, I was pretty lazy, played a lot of video games. I was always like the strong kid on the team, but I never applied myself. So I know if I gave myself the extra, like looking back now, I wish that I knew what I knew now. And I know you can't really regret anything in life, but I'm saying it's a little bit of a regret because I'm prideful. So I go to college, and I thought I was like, kind of tough shit because I was going to D1A. I didn't really know what I was expecting. And I get there, and it just big wake-up call, man. People like twice my size, and I was pretty big. Well, not really twice my size, but, you get the taller people, the Islanders that actually been playing since their day one. And I just knew that if I wanted to make it anywhere in this sport, I needed to, step my shit up. I couldn't be lazy. I had to start running more. So, I really started getting invested in that. I started training more seriously. I met a lot of friends my freshman year who are, one's actually my coach right now. He's studying at Penn State to be for kinesiology. So I'm kind of being like his test subject to get him some experience before anything, trying to help him out. And he's helping me out. And a lot of those people helped me develop the mentality I have today. Playing rugby is pretty tough. And when I thought it was tough, but it really wasn't. I was always like, I did good in track, but when I got to the big leagues, the people that actually have trained really just like took off. So once I started training and started getting that mentality and started talking to like-minded individuals, I really started understanding what it truly means to be a quote-unquote hardworking motherfucker, I guess you would say. And over time, I started learning more as well. I tried powerlifting my sophomore year in college, which was 2018. I broke 3 state records for the junior 3 class at 242 pounds. I got the deadlift, but in the total, I missed the bench. But in August, I hope to break that again, try to break all those again and get that bench press and qualify for nationals. And then I guess to Goggins, I looked into David Goggins a lot, like 2 years ago, and that really helped, expand my mindset on running and mental hardness, because I was 242 pounds, right? And he had that story where he was like 300 pounds trying to get into the deals. Me and my buddies were watching that Joe Rogan podcast like 2 or 3 times in a row. We were just getting beyond motivated. We're like, me and my buddies each were like 240, 250. And we just saying like, if he can do this, we can do this. So the next day we started doing like 6-mile runs and like freezing cold blizzards and such. Just try to really get that mental toughness. And on top of like what we already knew from rugby and such in our past, and this mental toughness that we're trying to build ourselves, we created stronger versions of ourselves.
Yeah, that's some intense shit.
Yeah, we were just dumb, really, like running like in rugby shorts. Rugby shorts, like really short kind of things, like they go above your calf, or not calves, your knees, like pretty much all your thighs shown. And I have a brand too. Like in college, me and my buddies got branded. It was pretty stupid, but so like when you have the rugby shirt on showing pretty well, we got the brands showing off. So it's in rugby shorts and tank tops in the city of Wheeling, West Virginia. And people are just looking at us like we're psychopaths.
Oh, I can only imagine. What was the brand?
A C for Cardinals.
Oh.
So we're the Wheeling Jesuit Cardinals. So on my left thigh, there's like a C around like this big. It's pretty faded now because it's been a couple years. But every once in a while, like I think it's seasonal that it just starts showing better.
Like when tanning season comes around and starts tanning, and
something like that. That was like some of the most pain I've ever felt in my life. If you know anything about rugby players, is that a lot of us are like insane and psychotic. I like to think I'm on the lower end of that level.
Yeah, that's what you think, though.
Yeah. But I know like to play rugby are pretty like before I even knew what Axe and Sledge and hardworking motherfuckers were, like a lot of us like to drink, have fun and work. Most of all, just work really hard. Some of those people are like the toughest people I know and the hardest workers I know, just top tier athletes, top tier people. And at the end of the day, it's like to have fun and be stupid.
Well, yeah. And I'm sure it's about who you surround yourself with too. Cause if all of you guys just from the get go, like all the rugby players are fucking working their ass off and doing crazy shit just for the, just because that's how they are mentally. They're just going to fuck shit up wherever they go. And then you get there and you surround yourself with those people, you become like them.
There were some people on the team as well, and there's people like this everywhere that aren't part of that that bracket that you want to surround yourself with. So I know, like, deep down, if I like maybe start talking to so and so's friend group over my friend group, I would have probably took a different path in life. Granted, I could have ended up in the same way, but the journey in between might have been a little harder, more rougher. When I say like people are psychotic and stupid, they can be really psychotic and stupid.
So, hey, what leaned you towards
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you can talk. I was about to just continue a story, but it seems like you're trying to lead into it.
So, what got you to where you're powerlifting versus like all the other lifting strategies out there?
Well, what I like to do, since my buddy, my coach, I would call him my coach, yeah. What he liked to do is during rugby season, like there wasn't much time to train for power, but it really didn't make too much sense because you're really just trying to maintain and recover, especially during season, because you get pretty beat up. Because pretty much every year I've had an injury. Like last year, I had 2 years ago now, because 2 years ago I graduated. I had torn my MCL, so that kind of pulled me back a lot.
Holy crap.
A couple other years ago, bicep tendonitis, can't really do anything. So I would always powerlift in the off season to get my strength up really high. And then during rugby season, I kind of just like train to maintain. So it's kind of like seasonal trainings, I guess. I would just try to get really strong and slowly transition into more explosive training, running training. But ever since I graduated, I still play rugby and stuff, but I'm trying to slowly do powerlifting to see how that takes me. Because I didn't say I lost motivation to play. I tried out for a Major League Rugby team back when the Major League Rugby just first started, which was last year. And I didn't have enough experience behind myself. That's what they told me. So they like to see me play a few more years or whatnot before that was even considered. So I don't know if that kind of like made me just more motivated to try powerlifting again. And so that's just kind of like where I'm at now. And with all this COVID stuff going on, the current powerlifting meet, I was supposed to compete in, was it March? Yeah, March. And it got pushed back to August. I was like, it was 3 days before my meet, and I was water cutting the 242 pounds, and I was, miserable. And I get the email saying, oh, so-and-so, we got to move this to August now, and I was miserable. So at least now in August, I don't have to really suffer as much for a water cut. But right now, that's all like my mind's at. People are asking me like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? Because I got to train. I got to keep myself fit and firm. I work now too. So after I work, I go train. And I'm fortunate to have a basement gym where I can still like lift pretty heavy, even though my squat rack's made out of pipes and duct tape. So it's kind of sketchy walking it out. But that's kind of where it is. My dad's pretty handy. But yeah, that's kind of where the powerlifting took off. I kind of, after that Major League Rugby tried, I kind of just wanted to try. I remembered I was pretty good at powerlifting, and I'm just like, you know what? I told my buddy, I was like, I really think I have a good chance. I'm about to turn 24 in December, and the junior level cuts off. So once you turn 24, you can't do anything about it in the USPAI. And so that's just my goal right now. And I do remember when my meet did start, I got the notification that nationals was full and I couldn't sign up anymore. I had to be waitlisted. So I was pretty bummed about that because that was the main goal. I wanted to get in the nationals to, compete and hopefully try to like break a national record or try to like place in nationals, because I thought that would be pretty cool. I'm a very prideful person. So if I had that that's just something I achieve for. You can ask anyone I know, like if I have this, I'm always in like lifting mode. I put everything off to the side. And yeah, so pretty much they actually opened up nationals more spots. There's like 44 more spots in weight class. So every day I look on that website to see how many spots are left. And I wait until in August 1st, the day the meet actually changed to is the final cutoff day for the new nationals. So I got lucky. I got a second chance, and I'm not trying to blow it. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but
no, that's pretty legit.
And I get excited about this stuff. It's what I live for now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I see your videos. I went to your YouTube channel, and you have a lot of powerlifting videos where
Mhm.
you lift some heavy ass fucking heavy ass weight. It's like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I used to be pretty active on YouTube, but I kind of want to get back into it again, like as a side project, just to keep myself busy. Because I know, like, especially like after I work out, maybe I like to record my lifts and send them to my coach. But part of me wants to be like, once I hit my old maxes, I kind of just want to go MIA on social media and stop posting stuff and kind of like just like shock the world and just throw some heavy weights out there and be like, oh, where'd this come from? So I'm thinking about starting the YouTube again and maybe making like a little like weekly video, like documenting like a powerlifting journey or something like that. I don't know, just something to keep myself like motivated and connected with social media,
Yeah,
kind of grow.
it's always something to look back on. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're our biggest judges when it comes to just just in general, like where we want to be with our goals and shit. Like I know me, like I could bust my ass for months and months, but I'm never where I want to be. And then I could put a photo from 4 months ago next to a photo now. And I'm like, holy shit, did I do that? Like, that's a major change. And it's just motivating, that extra little motivation too.
Yeah, I started getting the motivation now too, because right now I'm sitting around 265 pounds, and that's probably the heaviest I've ever been. And last year on this time, me and Carly were prepping for a Spartan race, a 13-mile Spartan race, and that was like the most I've ever ran. And I got into like the best shape of my life last year around this time. So looking at it now, I can still probably run a couple miles, but it's not the same. So I'm kind of getting that fire into my belt to start running again and be like, man, I gotta put my old self to shame again. It's gotta best competition is yourself. So once you get that fire lit, something else.
Yeah, no kidding. And I just saw the post of the Spartan race you guys did. How is that? I mean, how is the
Um,
Spartan race?
yeah, the run race was real eye opener for me because I never ran more than 6 miles before I considered doing that. Because that was like my limit. I did with my buddies in college was 6 miles. I never wanted to go any higher because I was 242 pounds, like mainly muscle. I didn't have like I'm not supposed to run that much, but I don't know. Doing that Spartan race really like opened my eyes to like the cardio world, and it was honestly one of the funnest things I've ever could have done. Just it was like probably 3 miles of straight mud, like to my calves, like over my calves sometimes,
Holy shit.
running through waters. I couldn't do all the obstacles really, but you're supposed to do 30 burpees if you can't do the obstacles. That kind of sucked. And, you just see like a bunch of other people around you, like different kind of variations. You got like, there's a blind man doing it and people are like watching him and you're kind of just like, if this guy can do it, I definitely can
Yeah, no kidding.
do it even better. And I don't know. It was just like I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it was just like an eye-opening experience that all these people are doing this and I can do this too. And I got the idea of maybe one day trying to be competitive with it. I know next year I want to do something called a trifecta, which is like you do a sprint. I think it's called an ultra and a beast. So sprint's like 3 to 5 miles, and ultra is like 36 miles or 32 miles, and beast is 13 miles. And if you do all three of those in a year, you get like it's like a puzzle. Each like one gives you like a third of a giant medal. So if you get all three of them, you get like an ultimate medal, and that's like something I want to put myself to. I'll stop powerlifting training and just kind of like on endurance and explosive training and kind of transition to that. I think that's what I want to do. It was just a lot of fun, to be honest. I recommend everybody do it, no matter how in shape you are. There's no time limit as long as you're done before the sun's down.
Yeah, you got all fucking day.
I mean, pretty much. You can start like at 4 in the morning, I think, 4 or 5 in the morning. I think the last heat's at like sometime in late afternoon. And I'm not sure there's any time limit until once the sun's down. So I recommend anyone do it. It's just fun, get muddy, go run, go jump over some logs.
And you got all those obstacles, so I'm sure you get like that little, you get past the mud run, and then you get to the logs, and you're like, oh, okay, you got that little second wind. It's like, all right, new obstacle.
And then you got the water stations. I don't know. One of the fun ones was day it was the sandbags. And you like put sandbags over your shoulder, carry them. You have to like go up hills and go down hills, like kind of like a course. The one that I hated the most was like I couldn't do the monkey bars to save my life. It was like monkey bars, but they were like, and I was getting so mad at myself. So that's like kind of like doing that, like kind of opened my eyes, like in the future, like, okay, this is what I got to work on to do this. And me being a stiff ass like powerlifter, I'm just like, I really got to change my body a little bit and start doing some kind of mobility and body weight, man.
It's like, fuck, I'm way too heavy for these monkey bars.
Right. I don't think it's as heavy. I just think it's my mobility. Because I never trained for any of those kind of like body weight kind of calisthenics things. So it was kind of like an eye opener, like, okay, I got to change this and do this for the future. That's constantly all I was thinking in my head. I just like, all right, how am I going to do better next time?
Well, so you said you're going to do it next year? Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously this COVID shit set a lot of stuff back for like everybody, you know?
Yeah, a lot of events are good. I know Carly was about to try to do one this year, but on the Spartan website, due to COVID, like they don't have any ETAs really. I think everything's set up for next year because they expect everything to be set up next year. But to be honest, I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just going to wait till the country opens up, and then I'll start what I want to compete at. I know bodybuilding is something I was interested in as well, and maybe I'll look into that maybe next year as well. I don't know. Because I know Jason Christie said he does mud runs when he preps for bodybuilding, so maybe I can kick two birds with one stone. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him about it a little bit maybe.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be nice that little trifecta thing you were talking about, the medal.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool. It's something cool to hang up on the wall. It's like a major achievement, not just a medal. It's just, I worked my ass off for all three of these. And not a lot of people, I'm sure, can say that.
Yeah, I mean, some people, I see these ultra runners, the people that do it competitively, they're just like breezing through obstacles. And me, I'm like working my ass off trying to get these obstacles. So, at the end of the day, when I cross the finish line, they give you and you're just covered in mud, just completely exhausted and tired. And I looked at Carly, I was just like, I need to get a shower and go to bed. And I just chugged this beer, big smile on my face, proud of myself for getting through this. And the funniest thing about the Spartan race too is that they time you. And so me and Carly crossed at the first at the same time, but I beat her by 0.1 seconds. And so we did the one in Pittsburgh too. It was a stadium one, so around PNC Park, and we did that with some of the people at Axe and Sledge too, like some of the coworkers in Krista. But we crossed the finish line at the same time as well, and I beat her by 0.1 seconds again as well. So she got that fire under it. She got that fire as well that she wants to kick my ass next time. So we came to the conclusion that if we do the trifecta together, that we're going to do like the 32 one and the 13 one together. But when we do the sprint, like the 3-mile one, I'm going to start at a different time and she's going to start at a different time. And we're going to try to compete with each other and see who comes out with the faster time. So I think that would be pretty interesting. You guys could place your bets now. What's the over and under? Who's going to win, Dante or Carly?
All right. We'll see. We're gonna take bets. Put them in the comments. We'll save them until when that time comes for the trifecta.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Are we doing the overall or just individual?
No, we'll let them decide. Better that way.
Yeah. So, when did you meet Carly, and how did you guys meet?
Yeah, we met on Instagram actually. I was brought some friends home from school, introduced them to my other friend. My other friend is affiliated with another company, and I grew up with that buddy since kindergarten. So we're pretty good friends. We kick each other's ass a lot in the gym. So I wanted to introduce some friends there. We went to some gym in Pittsburgh. It was the Exercise Warehouse. It's actually where I first seen Seth, but that's besides the point. And I posted one of those flex photos on Instagram and tagged. She went there as well. She followed me, and then sent a message on Instagram, and saw cupcakes and rainbows from there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna find someone or something. So it worked out well. I mean, we're here together. We just had our 1 year anniversary in March, and it's almost a year and a half since we've been together, and it's going so good. So I'm happy with it. I'm proud of her, whichever she does in the demo crew. I know she works her ass off behind the scenes. She's the definition of HWMF.
Yeah, that's a fact for sure. I know she's doing a lot of the work there, going through applications like crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could tell because I mean every day there's more and more, you know.
Yeah, like all these new guys keep posting it. Like I never seen that stuff before. It's pretty cool to see like how everyone's like telling their backstories, and you can see if you can relate to somebody. Be like, oh, maybe I can message this guy and be like, hey, I do what you do. Let's see if we can collaborate and figure something out. Maybe we can grow ourselves even more.
Yeah, well, before all that, it was I thought that like all the way over here on the West Coast, like Arizona, California, Nevada, I thought that it was just a few of us, like me, Cody Defoe, both in Havasu, and I think there's a guy in Phoenix. But yeah, now that we have all these new guys and girls, they're posting where they're from, and it's like, holy shit, there's one closer to home now. Awesome, and it's like building up more and more over here. Because I know that there's a lot of people in like Pittsburgh and Florida.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pittsburgh has a lot of people. I know a few of them personally too, so that's pretty cool to see. Like, oh, I'm actually mutual friends with these guys, and they're part of the demo career. It's like, cool. And I try to get some of my friends to be like, hey, if you want to like, be a part of something cool, look into this. I just had my other buddy apply the other day. I played rugby with him, and that's the one I went running with. He's pretty crazy. He's my best friend in college, so I think he'd fit the bill pretty good. He's pretty much like me. So.
Oh yeah. Well, then he'll be more than welcome. If he's more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll walk right in and act like he's been here forever.
Oh God. That's all we need is more Dantes out there.
You think I'm bad? Just wait till he comes in.
Oh, good. So, what'd you go for college? What'd you go to college for?
Yeah, so I originally went to college. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was going to college to play rugby, as like all other athletes pretty much go into college to do. I still didn't know what I wanted to do after a couple weeks. So I saw athletic training was a major, so I tried that. Me being a freshman and not wanting to do anything school related, I was failing my athletic training classes. So I just kind of dropped athletic training, went to the general studies. You can be in general studies until the end of your sophomore year, and then you'd have to pick something up. So what did I naturally do? I waited to the end of my sophomore year before researching any kind of way to what kind of career path I would want to take. So I started asking around teammates saying like, hey, what do you know about majors I can finish in 2 years so I can get out of Dodge pretty quickly? And they're like, you can do business, you can do math. And my one buddy said criminal justice. And I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. So I went to meet the criminal justice supervisor, and he was really cool. He was a big lie detector guy.
Oh, geez.
So he's seen it all. And I sat and talked to him for a little bit, and he says, yeah, I think you can do this. And he knows a lot of my rugby guys there too. So he's like, if you're like them, you fit the boat. So he let me get into the program, and ever since there, I'm here now. And I'm still trying to wait back. I applied for the county police. I'm still waiting to hear back from them before I kind of make another step and apply for other places and such. So yeah, criminal justice, I did that in school. Interned with the Wheeling Police Department, and that was a pretty cool experience. Seeing how actual cops act in the city of Wheeling and stuff, and get an idea for what I'd be walking into if that's a career path I'd like to take. So in the end of things, I guess it worked out for the best that I didn't really go with athletic training, because I kind of like the law enforcement kind of aspect of things.
No, you're at a good age too. I know when you get
I'm 23, I got plenty of time.
Yeah, like when you get to after 35, I just had a cousin go in, and anyways, he's getting closer to 40, and I mean he's really fit. He runs constantly, and he said, man, he get there and you just have 21 or like just all under 30-year-old guys in there, and it's like he's competing with all these younger guys, and I said it's pretty intense.
Yeah. I was also looking into kind of like doing like a FBI kind of thing as well. but one of the requirements is 2 years of professional job experience, which I do not have yet. I'm almost at 1 year. So I guess if this cop thing doesn't work out and I don't find anything else, like in the time being, because I might just grind out what I'm currently doing, which is customer service at a durable medical equipment company for another year and just try to wait for that. But we'll see. I can always go to the academy in Pennsylvania as I work, because in PA, at least Pittsburgh, they have academy classes at night, like night school kind of thing. So if I want to do that and join up with a local department, that's always an option for me. So once I hear back from this Allegheny like county police, and I'll start making decisions, I think.
Yeah. So, anyways, I want to get to, I guess I'll talk about myself for a little bit, and then we'll get to the questions and go from there. So, anyways,
let me ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
It's my turn.
Oh, go right ahead, man. Take over the hosting part. There you
go. Yeah, this is Dante with Crav'in Iron. I'm just kidding.
Has a good ring to it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll talk about that later off camera. But so Steve, part of Crav'in Iron. People don't really know your background, like you said. So why don't you start? Where are you from? How'd you get to the person you are today? Give us a little background.
All right. Well, I'm from a little county called Lick County, California, and it's up in northern. I grew up in the sticks, out in the mountains. So I grew up in my grandpa's vineyard, basically just working when I was younger, all the way, started working there when I was 7 years old, just helping him around the vineyard, picking grapes and suckering. That's when you knock off on the roots, or on the you knock off all the stuff that's lower than the actual vine, so all the water gets up. Anyways, I could go into detail, but started working in there. Drove my first tractor at 10 years old, and it was one of those little miniature ones. Had a trailer, and I would go pick up wood for my grandpa and haul it to his house and shit. And anyways, just a little country boy.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Did that. He paid me, it was 20 cents an hour, and our paycheck was our Christmas present. So 20 cents an hour, we'd work for him all the way, or me and my two brothers. I have one older and one younger. And anyways, we ended up getting paid whatever we accumulated throughout the whole year. He would pay us at the end of the year in a check, and we could be able to go spend that on anything. So, I mean, really,
creative.
We worked for our own shit, but our own present, our Christmas present, but it was cool. And anyway, so went to high school at Lower Lake High School. Started football in middle school, and before I did football, I was just that short, fat kid, played Pokemon cards in the library, just a straight up nerd, loved it. It was fun. I had
hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm still a nerd to this day.
Yeah, no. I mean, I have my nerd ways. It's great. Let's call it my me time. So, but yeah, so I was that guy, and then my older brother, he was playing football, and then when I got into the 7th grade, I ended up getting into football. I was a big boy. I was very fluffy, but anyways, the football coach, he was like, hey, I can use you as a lineman. I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
There you go.
Yeah. It's all right, why not? So I started playing football. My first year, I was the fat kid, and I didn't have fun. I didn't have any stamina. I was always exhausted, didn't have fun. So that next summer, I decided, you know what, I'm going to run my ass off, and I just got into lifting weights, and that was in 7th grade. Got into lifting weights, and just I ended up growing a couple inches, and got really fit, lost a lot of fat, and the next year when I showed up, it was kind of like what you want to do is where you want to just disappear for a little bit. Well, I live out in the sticks. I didn't have any kids that I grew up with. I only had my two brothers. All the kids that I went to high school with, they were back in town, and that's 25-minute drive. So I mean, I got to see them every now and then, but it wasn't like I'm gonna walk down the street to hang out with them. It was like hey, pick a week or pick a day in this week, and we'll go hang out. But anyway, so I ended up just I had a little track, a BMX track out by my house because it's my parents' house, and then right up above that is my grandparents' house with his 40 acres of vineyard, and then right up above that is my cousin's little trailer that he had, and he owned 500 acres behind all of that. So I was very
Jeez.
yeah, yeah. No, I was very blessed when I grew up because grew up on quads and dirt bikes, and I mean, obviously working, so I knew how to
Mm-hmm.
fucking work for my shit. My parents, they did everything they could for me, but they've always made me work for my shit. You know what I mean?
100% agree.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I was racing BMX, and I mean, I was never good at it. I was fucking terrible at it. Both my brothers, they would get first place almost every time they'd race, and I'd get like third or fifth or 10th or whatever. I was terrible. And like my biggest fear was if those two wheels came off of the ground, then I would freak the fuck out. Like total pussy. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I had a bike, I had a BMX off a little my neighbor's ramp one time and flipped it, and almost broke my neck almost. Man, I don't blame you.
yeah, dude. But that was my biggest fault. So I always got like they like my older brother, he won a bicycle, a really nice BMX bike. It was and then my little brother, he won a big toolbox when he was like in middle school, which he didn't need it because he never worked on tools or anything. But I mean, it was cool. They got all that shit, and I always got my little trophies that were like that big, participation rewards.
Hey,
But anyway, so I got into running, and I stuck with football. And then when I got into high school, I wanted to be the biggest guy in high school, so I was always power lift. Me and my buddies would always power lift. I had this one guy that I was competing with, and I mean, he was an asshole too. He just always fucking poked the bear every time he saw me, because it was just me and him, and it was always benching and squatting. So we would always compete. We were in the same class because we had a weight training class, and where you just go there and lift weights. And but yeah, so he would always poke the bear, and I was always competing with him. And I ended up that's when I ended up benching. I think my max in high school was 325 on bench, and for squat, I think I got up to 800.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was just, I mean, that was my
800?
thing. It was quite a bit. I have tree trunks for legs. Like
That's crazy, dude. Like in high school, that's like you see that shit, and that's because it's insane.
it was, yeah. We went at it. So, but I mean, he couldn't beat me on squat, but he would always get me on bench. I think he benched like he was like up to 425, I think it was. And I mean, he was a big dude, huge chest. Anyways, so proceeding on, right after high school, I ended up getting a security guard job at a casino, just a local casino, and I was there for 7 years. And I mean, I stopped. So they say you keep one friend out of high school, basically one or two friends for the rest of your life at a high school or that you grew up with.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So like everybody I went to high school with and I graduated with, I stopped talking to and I stopped seeing, and especially since I still lived like out in the sticks, by like around my parents' place. So, anyways, I ended up going to Walmart one day, and I saw this guy that got straight A's. Uh, his name's Danny. I won't say his last name because I don't know what position he's in now, but yeah, his name's Danny, and I mean, he was a lineman, or he was a tight end with me, and all the way through high school, straight A's. Really nice guy, and had his shit together. So I saw him in front of Walmart, and I had to do a double take, but he was sitting there with a box, just spun out of his mind. I was walking by him, and then I like did a double take, and I'm like, holy shit. I was like, hey, Danny. And so he started talking to me, and his clothes were all tatted up. I mean, tattered and shit. Looked homeless, and he just started talking to me, and I couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying. Just drugged out of his mind. I'm like, holy shit, dude. But I mean,
rough.
yeah. So, I mean, that hit home for me because Lake County, when I grew up, it wasn't like huge into drug. I mean, there was always drugs there. There's drugs everywhere. But I mean, just around that time, that's when meth started getting really bad there. And just you could see it. Anyway, so that hit home for me because that hurt just because I knew that guy had a lot of potential. And anyway, so that's when I decided I'm going to go into law enforcement. I went into a police academy, Napa Valley Police Academy in California. And anyways, after the police academy, I put myself through because there's not a lot of police academies you can put yourself through. So I paid myself through, and my mindset was I could either pick a location, pick a county, or like my hometown. I could apply there and say I don't, and I signed like a 2 or 3 year contract with them. Now I'm stuck there for 2 or 3 years before I can go anywhere. So I figured, hey, if I put myself through, then I can pick wherever I want, and I already have the post certificate to get a job. They'll hire me because I already went through the academy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my mindset was. They had a extended academy, and then they had the intensive, and the intensive was 6 months, 6 months long, and it's a 5-day a week, and it's a live-in academy. And then I did the extended, which was 4 days a week, not as much time there, but you don't have to live there. And so pretty much I worked full time at the casino while I was going through the academy. But I didn't know that they frown on the extended academy because you don't get that living experience and that intensity of getting woken up in the middle of the night by the drill instructors and getting your bed flipped over and shit.
Yeah, boot camp basically.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw that when I went there, but I didn't really get that full effect. I got the drill instructors in your face. I had to cut my hair every fucking day because if they found one little hair off, then they'll drill us and have us do a shit ton of cardio and push-ups or burpees around the fucking building or whatever. But anyway, so yeah. So I went through the academy, and I applied to at my hometown and a couple other counties. But then my wife, actually, I dated in high school for 4 years. We broke up for a couple years, but we stayed, really good friends. We got back together. She ended up moving to Lake Havasu, Arizona to go to college for nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, we got back together, and she said, hey, why don't you move out here? And I said, well, I'm not going to move until I get a full-time job in the field that I want to work in. So I ended up finding the prison out here, the state prison in Arizona. And I applied. Actually, well, she applied for me, and she ended up doing my resume and everything. And she said, hey, surprise, I applied here. Apparently it was like a 30-day fucking process, or a 30-page process she spent hours on. So
he's lucky man.
Oh, I know. She was like, here, I did this for you. It's like, holy shit. If it's anything like the sheriff's department,
Like that's came early.
Lengthy fucking process. So anyway, she applied there. I ended up leaving the casino. I got a trucking job, or a construction job, and I was trucking for them. And I ended up getting the call. I was working on Wednesday. I got a call while I was trucking, and they said, hey, so Thursday, which was the next day, we're going to do a phone interview with you. Then Friday, you need to be here in Arizona for your physical and your background. And then Monday, you'll start the academy. And I'm like, holy shit. And it was a 15-hour drive to Lake Havasu from where I was. I'm like, well, fuck, man. All right. I guess I'm packing a bag tonight, So and the starting rate was pretty decent, I was making prevailing wage, which was like $30 an hour for trucking, but I was not enjoying that. That wasn't my dream job. So anyways, I ended up telling my boss that day. I said, hey, look, man, I'm sorry. I know, and he helped me out and got me to my trucker's license and all that shit, my Class A. But yeah, I said, hey, look, man, I'm sorry, but I mean, today's my last day. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, yeah. And it was a small company, and it was just me, my boss, and this other guy, Luis, that worked for him. So he's like, fuck, who am I going to find to truck for me? And who am I going to find to do this? I'm like, I got the perfect guy. So I got one of my buddies that I actually grew up with. He needed a good job, and he's a hardworking mother. He works his ass off. So, or for his family. So I said, hey man, here's your guy. So he ended up taking over my spot, and he got his trucker's license and everything. But anyway, so I quit my job that day. I don't think my boss ever forgave me for that one, but
yeah, it's pretty rough. But you gotta do what you have to do.
yeah. So that next morning, got the call, did the phone interview, said bye to my family and everything. Said, hey, packing up, packed a garbage bag full of clothes, took my car to here, Arizona, Lake Havasu, and then that next day, I still had. So I'm a big hunter. Like, I mean, filled every fucking tag I've ever bought in Arizona or in California. Hunted every year, every season. Huge hunter. So when I moved to Arizona, I was a prison, and I didn't even think about it. But I brought all my guns and all my hunting gear with me. And they were all in the trunk. So I drove up to that. I drove up to do the physical in the background, and I had a shit ton of guns and ammo in my trunk with my knives and shit. And they searched your car before you even go into the prison. So
you're probably sweating buckets.
Well, I didn't even think about it, honestly. Like, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm here for the physical and the background check. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna check your car real quick. Took my ID and everything, and he goes to my trunk, and I pop it, and like nothing. And he comes up and he's like, okay, well, here's a problem. I'm like, well, what's the problem? He's like, you have like 6 firearms in your trunk. And I had knives and fucking just a whole bunch of shit. And he's like, you need to leave like now. I'm like, fuck, man. Well, I don't want to be late. What am I supposed to do? He's like, how about this? He's like, okay, there's you drive down the road a little bit and there's a pump on the left. So why don't you stash all your shit there and bury it so you can come in? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck. All right. So what I ended up doing is I ended up driving down the road a little bit. I parked my car and I walked there. But
you aren't going to bury your stuff.
I'm not burying my shit. But anyway, so I ended up going there and I did that. And then my background didn't clear until – so the academy started Monday. My background didn't clear until that Tuesday. So they said, hey, sorry, your background didn't clear. Can't start the academy. I'm like, fuck. So I already moved down to Arizona, quit my job in California. I was like, fuck, dude. So I ended up being out of a job for like 2 weeks and just, living with my wife, or well, my girlfriend at the time, but living with her, out of a job, like, fuck, getting stir crazy. And I've always had a job, always fucking made money. And now I'm like going off of my savings, which sucked. Because I mean, back before I moved down there, I just spent all my money on guns, ammo, and hunting. But anyways,
the essentials.
Yeah, the essentials, stuff that you need, zombie apocalypse shit. So so we ended up I ended up calling them and calling the prison saying, hey, either you said I was going to start, you promised me a job when I came down here, or at least the academy. So either I start or I'm moving back to California, and I'm not going to work for you guys. So they said, okay, you know what, we'll do you a solid. And they started me in their mailroom, and pretty much no inmate contact, just in the mailroom. And I sit there and I read the incoming mail, and make sure there's no porn mags or any nudity photo, anything that's inappropriate for prison or for the inmates. So I sat there for like the next 3 or 4 weeks, just sitting there reading inmate mail. I worked in their laundry room, did fucking inmate 909s, which is basically when they first arrive at our prison, they get a set amount of clothing, and I set all that up for them. So just did that kind of shit. They just had a riot. They just finished up with a riot. So there was no inmates outside of the facility, because we have the inmate workers that usually are out there. They're out there now, but back then, since they just had the riot, everything was on lockdown. Anyway, so I did that for it was like the next 3 weeks. I'm just reading Dear John letters and shit for the inmates. And yeah. So, and then I started the academy, started at the prison. And I've been there since 2015. Promoted up to a sergeant. Now I'm a lieutenant at the prison on day shift, and good times. See a lot of crazy shit there. It's fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine, man. When I entered with the police, we escorted a prisoner there, and he made me wait in the car because he wasn't sure if I was like allowed to go in as an intern. And I saw like we had these U.S. Marshals in class like come in and tell us what the U.S. Marshals were, and I actually saw them at that prison like escorting like one of like West Virginia's most wanted guys getting into this prison. And I was like, oh shit, this is the real deal.
Yeah, it's one thing about it. It's like its own little community. Like they have their little store. They have their, I mean, they're all separated by races most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have their little basketball court, and they have a little softball field in the dirt. But that's like the only time they're like integrated. You know what I mean? But other than that, they keep pretty segregated. But yeah, like working there that long, or as long as I have been, see a lot of fights, see a lot of people getting fucked up and split heads open. And I mean, now I see that kind of shit, and it's just like, it doesn't even faze me. It's changes you because you just see a lot of
shit. You get that desensitization.
Yeah. Like we had an inmate die overdosing over fentanyl.
Damn, really?
And yeah, so I mean, this is the first dead body I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen, like when I was working at the casino, there was a couple people that died after they left because of whatever, they're older or whatever. And anyways, but this first dead body I've ever seen. But I've been there like 4 years at this time. And yeah, so you have officers doing chest compressions because, I mean, even if we know he's dead, we still have to do life-saving measures to at least try, you know what I mean? So you have these officers on this guy, and they're giving him chest compressions, and he's already bloated from, passing. But anyway, so he's like spitting up, all the shit that's in him. And anyway, so these officers are doing chest compressions, and you have officers that are freaking out because they're like, oh fuck, we're fired. What the fuck are we gonna do? We're screwed. And there's some officers that were pretty traumatized from it. But I got there. I ended up doing chest compressions with this other guy, Remillard. He's actually on this podcast episode, I think it's like 4 or 5 or something. But me and Remillard ended up taking over the chest compressions on this guy. And waited for the ambulance. Ambulance showed up, and they're like, okay, we're not even going to take him to the hospital. We're going to call a doctor, and ended up claiming him dead there. But yeah, so after that, there was a whole bunch of officers that were just, man, they were mentally, it drained them mentally, like for a little while. They had to take some leave from the prison for a little bit. And I got home, and I'm like, hey, told my wife, hey, I think this is not okay. Like, that didn't faze me at all. Like it scares me because I wasn't like that before. I was like really, really sensitive, and which my wife fell in love with. And I was like, I feel like I should like give a shit a little more about this. You know what I mean? It should affect me, but it didn't affect me at all.
I mean, maybe it's not that you didn't give a shit. It's the affecting thing,
Yeah. I mean, it's still crazy to me. Like, I still think I should have reacted a little different to that. But anyway, so anyways, throughout the years, I ended up promoting fairly quick. Once I started promoting, I ended up promoting fairly quick. Got sergeant, and then like a year and some change later, I got lieutenant, and now I've been lieutenant for like 8 or 9 months. But when it comes to working out, like I said, I was a major power lifter in high school, just major power lifter. That was like my thing. And played high school. I ended up getting into powerlifting. I mean, I was like everybody else. You push it hard and work out hard for a while, and then you take like a break. And you get all like fat and lazy, and then you would like, oh, you know what, fuck that, I remember who I used to be. Then you push hard again, then you take another break. So I did that when I ended up getting put on graveyard. I think that's when I got all chubby. But I got on graveyard for a while as a sergeant when I first started, and that's when I got all like out of shape and fat and disgusting. Felt like shit every day.
Yeah, because
But
he's not used to it.
yeah. So anyways, and then I got back into it, and when I ended up getting I ended up getting into bodybuilding. That's when I just started doing the cutting season and the bulking season. I cut a lot of weight. I did the intermittent fasting diet and cut a lot of weight, and then I ended up bulking. And I got into that mode. Then I worked with this guy Contreras on day shift as a sergeant, and it was always about competition with this guy because he was fit and I was fit, but he like every time he would walk by somebody like a nurse or somebody, he's like, hey, who's bigger, me or him, me or Fiora? And they'd always say, well, his chest is bigger, but your arms are bigger, or your legs are skinny and his legs are big. It's just always a competition.
Mm-hmm.
So then it got to where we were competing on who can lift more. So that's when I started, instead of doing the bodybuilding workouts, like high intensity, I went to powerlifting, and started maxing out at like, I maxed out at like 425, I think, and did that like 3 times. And it's just like the adrenaline, like, yeah, fuck yeah, look at that weight I just picked up. And anyways, got into that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's a certain mindset, like, to fucking get under that and, not die. So changes a man. But
turns boys to men.
But anyway, so yeah, and then I was getting into that, tried a whole bunch of different supplements and everything, and I mean, well, here we are. And Axe and Sledge, looked up saw Seth Feroci's video of when he first started his supplement company, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And working at the prison, you develop a very weird sense of humor.
I can imagine, trust me. Like, I have my own sense of humor. It's pretty messed up myself.
Yeah. So I pretty much turned into like no filter. Like before the prison, I grew up, I would get my ass whooped if I said a curse word around my family members. It doesn't matter what age I could be 30 years old and say a curse word and I'll get my ass whooped by my grandpa. So
get that belt or that paddle.
Oh dude, he had a big ass belt buckle. He had like a belt buckle that big, and when we were kids, yeah, he never whooped us with it. Never had to whip us with it because he just like, oh, you don't want to listen, and you hear that unsnap of that big ass belt buckle, and we just
you're like, okay.
Yeah, all right, you win. My grandmother had this big ass spoon that she hung on the wall, like that big around. She'd run around the house with us and whoop our ass with that. My mom was always the soap in the mouth.
That never was one of those. I always got the paddle.
Yeah, soap in the mouth. You never get immune to it, but you learn to tolerate it. So like we learned to tolerate it, and then instead of just putting it in our mouth and having us fucking whine a little bit, we stopped whining with that, and then she'd like scrape it on her teeth a little bit so it sticks in there a little longer. It's like, oh. And
they're learning.
Yeah. I got to change up my ways to whoop their ass. Discipline them. But my dad, so if my mom couldn't handle us, my dad, all you do is hear her say, Louie. And then he'd come in and it's like, oh shit. All right.
Game over now.
Yeah. Yeah, he was always the spanker, and it hurt every time. Never a dull moment with that man in his hand. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Just grew up on a farm. My grandfather on my mother's side. My dad's side was the one with the vineyard. Then my mother's side, he has horses and a farm and pigs and cattle and sheep. Mm-hmm. He still does the sheep thing. He grows his sheep and he breeds them and then he auctions them out. And he'll keep the little ones like the babies, and then he'll auction out the big ones and then do it all over again. And good gig. Helped him out every now and then. He's just he'll sit there and he'll grab a sheep, and I worked out at this point, and like he's just a fucking old farmer, never misses a beat. But like he'll sit there and he'll grab this sheep and he'll throw it in the fucking trailer because it's not listening or it's not following the line. And then he's like, "Oh, grab that one, throw it in the trailer." And I'll grab it. And I'm like, not even fucking be able to pick it up. It's like, what the fuck? How did you do this? And it's sitting there squirming and shit. And I'm like trying to fucking handle it.
Yeah, I got family in Ohio, and they're farmers, and like so. I mean, we didn't do it last year, but we have like a turkey bowl every Thanksgiving, my dad's side of the family is like two separate like sides. And we kind of like do like a Patrella versus DeSantis turkey bowl, and like so the Ohio like farmers would come, and he's old. I don't know exactly his age, but he's up there. And, me and him were on the line, and I was like going against him, thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be easy." And he got that farm strength, man, and I was shook. I was like, "Geez, Sal." You can't doubt those farmers. That's why those farm boys, they make the best D1 linemen or whatever they say.
Yeah, no, so this one time I'll remember forever is my grandpa. This was back when I was in high school and I power lifted like crazy, and I felt like I was like really strong and super confident about my strength. So my grandfather, he's like, "Okay, you know what? You think you're strong? Let's see you do this." And he lays on his stomach on the ground. He grabs this table or this chair just by the one leg, and his arms propped up on the ground here. He's like, "Okay," he just grabs it by one leg, and he lifts it up off the ground. And it's just simple enough, right? Puts it back down. He's like, "All right, do that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that." So I get down there, and I'm grabbing it, and I'm just like shaking, trying to get this fucking thing off the ground. Yeah, I couldn't fucking do it. And I'm like, "Okay, whatever, dude."
And they're like, they're superheroes or something, man. There's something in that water.
Yeah, dude. Just farmer strength, like you said. Been working on that fucking farm all his life, and he's stronger than an ox. But yeah, so anyways, if you want to get into the questions.
Yeah, sure.
So what we did.
I can ask my questions first because Carly sent me a few questions that she wanted me to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Courtesy of Carly Jones, at Carly Jones, or Jones Carly 88. All right, first question was, what was your favorite pastime? Or what is your favorite pastime, rather?
My favorite pastime? What does she mean by that? Like
what do you like to do? Just
okay.
Pass the time, like when you're not working or at the gym, like we enjoy.
Okay, so I'm big on hunting. Honestly, when I was in California, I hunted like crazy, but I didn't have my wife wasn't there. I didn't have my kids at the time. That was a couple years ago, and yeah. So when I moved to Arizona, I kind of slowed down on that. I still enjoy it, but I don't do it as often. But now what I enjoy is every now and then, like probably once a week or maybe twice a week, I'll sit down with the wife, and believe it or not, we'll sit there and we'll play like zombie split screen or something on Xbox. Like we don't play a lot of video games like at all. I used to be a big gamer, but like back in my casino days. But yeah, no, I mean, me and her, it's like our relaxing time. We'll lay all the kids down to bed, or we'll lay our kids down to bed, and we'll drink a little bit. I'll have some whiskey and she'll have some beer, and we'll just pick a game and like, "Hey, we want to split screen tonight," and we'll just sit there and split screen and enjoy our alone time. I think that's like one of my favorite moments, when it's like just me time, like my recouping shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that's cool.
And like, it's always a competition with my wife. Like at the end, when we both die, then we'll compare the zombie kills.
They're like, "Oh, I killed this many more and got this many more headshots or whatnot."
It's crazy though, because she always beats me. It's fucking nuts.
Jeez, man, you're slacking.
I know, and I used to be the gamer too, and not her. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Other than going to the gym, like right now, it's just it's kind of like a coping thing in the gym thing, I'm kind of blessed to have. I'm kind of blessed to have the woman I do have, just because, I mean, I used to be a very sensitive guy. I used to love I just used to show her a lot of love, like a lot of love, send like sweet little texts and stuff like that. And the prison changed me like a lot. And I mean, it kind of makes me nervous because I'm really not the man I used to be, when it comes to mine and her relationship. But the way I cope with that and the way I like switch off the prison setting, because I mean, it's about what you surround yourself with. And I mean, when you're surrounded by prisoners and I mean, just inmates constantly and dealing with that shit, it just, it changed me. I mean, there's people in there that don't change, but I mean, I know it changed me. But the way I cope with that, my wife she'll say, "Hey, you're being a dick. Go to the gym. You need to go work out or something. You need to reset your mind." And I'll go to the gym and I'll take all my frustrations out on that, and I'll put some fucking heavy metal on, or Disturbed, or yeah, Slipknot, something. And anyways, and I'll unwind, and then when I get home, I'm reset. I'm obviously, I mean, it's just, that's like it became a passion, like something that I need more than a want, you know what I mean? So it's good.
There you go. I like that answer. It's pretty cool. Second question is, what's your favorite Axe and Sledge product and why?
Favorite Axe and Sledge product. I know that everybody says the grind. I'm really fond of the grind. I really am. It's a good product, but hydraulic. I'd say hydraulic just because I've tried so many pre-workouts. I did this, the most intense one I've ever had was Super Biofreak, and it's Super Biofreak OMG. And it makes you give that jittery feeling, makes you want to fucking, it's like you're the Hulk and you could throw cars over houses and shit, but unreasonable expectations, But anyway, so I ended up saying, you know what, I want good workouts. It's nice to have that energy and shit, but I wanted the pump, and the pump wasn't there with that. So that's when I went to the hydraulic. That's actually the first product I've taken for Axe and Sledge, and I got that amazing pump. And I don't know. I'm sure that there's a lot of people like this, but I've always felt like there's your body gets used to some pre-workouts. Like
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like you take one scoop, like C4. I did C4 for a while before it was garbage, and I do one scoop. And I take it for like a week, and I'd feel like my body got used to it. So I'd go up to 2 scoops, and then 3 scoops, and then I'd have to change my pre-workout. But hydraulic is the one pre-workout that's never
the caffeine tolerance.
Yeah, but I mean, the hydraulics, it never let me down. I always have a crazy pump. I've stuck to 2 scoops. Like, I mean, I don't need any more than that. So, but anyway, so hydraulic, all-time favorite supplement from Axe and Sledge. Amazing workouts every time, hands down. So unicorn blood, something about it. I'm a big flavor guy, but unicorn blood is something that I can just, I'm a big rainbow sherbet guy. Like, ice cream favorite is rainbow sherbet. Unicorn blood is like, your rainbow sherbet kind of reminds you of it. And it's that one that I can sip on throughout the whole day and not get tired of it. So unicorn blood, and that's unicorn blood for everything. Not just hydraulic, but unicorn blood, everything. Like ignition switch, hydraulic, fucking the grind, anything.
Yeah, unicorn blood reminds me of we used to have a Chinese buffet every Sunday in college, and they had like that orange sherbet or whatever that sherbet, and it just brings back memories every time I take a sip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But one thing I like about the hydraulic too is I don't know if you know anything about beet juice or beet powder, like beet juice powder or whatever, like from beets. But it's like a big nitric oxide booster as well. So I kind of take that sometimes with my hydraulic, and it kind of like amplifies the pump even more because your blood's keeping circulating. But
oh, really?
I don't know. It's just something like you can look into as well. But
you're gonna have to.
It's called like Power Beats. I'll show you it later.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. Because I'm always about the pump, dude. Gotta love the pump.
All right. Next question would be your favorite cheat meal.
Favorite cheat meal? My favorite clean cheat meal. I call it clean cheat meal because it makes me feel better. But favorite clean cheat meal: In-N-Out burger, double protein style, and that's basically yeah. So I'll get two of them. So you get the protein style. I don't know if you ever heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically,
Never been.
really?
I've heard the rumors, I heard the stories, but I've never actually that succulent burger. Yeah, never been down there.
Secret menus. And you look up the secret menu online, they have so much shit. It's fucking crazy. But I don't go too crazy there. If I do go there for a cheat meal, it's gonna be the protein style, and basically instead of buns, it's like this ball of lettuce with your burger inside, your vegetables and your tomatoes and your ketchup and all that shit, and your two buns and cheese. But it's just like wrapped in a big ass fucking big ass thing of lettuce, big ass leaf. Best thing ever. Messy as fuck though, super messy. Don't have a good shirt on because you're gonna get it all over the face.
That's worth it. It sounds like it's worth it.
But yeah, so there's that, and then I don't know, man. Like, my cheat meals, like if I have a cheat day, because I mean, if I'm doing the intermittent fasting and on my cheat day and I still intermittent fast, like my last meal of the day will be my cheat meal, and I know I'm gonna be fasting for like 16 hours after that, and I can eat whatever the fuck I want, dude. I'll pig out on anything. I've been very fond of pizza lately. Like, they have the fucking extra most bestest at, I think, what is it, Little Caesars or whatever, where you get a shit ton of pepperoni, like triple the amount and shit. Yeah. So I guess that'd be it for right now.
I like it. All right, and last question I have for you would be any advice for anyone who's nervous to get started in the gym?
Yeah. So getting started in the gym, don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on what your body's telling you, you know. I know that's hard to read right away because, you know, you're just starting. But I mean, when you're looking around the gym and you have all these fit guys and you feel like everybody's watching you, like that's how I was. And I know there's a lot of people like that when you first start the gym and you're like, I just want to fucking better myself. But you have all these guys and you feel like you're being watched or you're being judged or whatever. It's not like that.
Got the goggles.
Yeah. Get that going and tunnel vision on what your goal is. Set that goal. Don't fucking quit, because I'll tell you right now, it's easy for us to say that we're going to go work out right now. But when you first start, when I first started, dude, the fucking soreness is the worst. Like, you have the worst soreness because your body's not used to anything that you're doing. So much strenuous activity that you're not used to at all. Soreness is the worst. You don't see the results right away. So that's another thing. I mean, it takes years to get to where, you know, we are. But when you start, you don't see results. Like, you're expecting results like, oh, hey, I've been busting my ass for a week. You might see like a pound or two. And unless you're just losing a shit ton of water weight, you might see like 5 pounds. But then you're not going to see the results right away. Stick to it. Just fucking stick to it, because you're going to thank yourself later. And then you're going to see photos 3 months, 4 months later, and you're going to be like, holy shit, I am making a difference. But keep yourself motivated, because everybody wants to quit after their first week because of the soreness, doing all the different muscle groups and shit. And you're going to be sore all week. And they're like, you know, it's not worth it. I'm not seeing results and I'm sore and I'm hurting, you know, and I feel like I'm being judged in the gym because you have all these guys that I feel like I'm in their way or whatever. Like, don't let that deter you, you know. Pick your fucking goal. Best advice I feel like I can give is pick a goal, and strive for that goal. Pick a guy that you want to look like. My guy, when I first started, was Dwayne Johnson. So, you know what I did is I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to fucking I didn't know what workouts to do or anything like that. So I ended up I said, I want to look like Dwayne Johnson one day. Probably will never look like Dwayne Johnson because he's a fucking beast. But
Never know.
yeah, so I researched his workouts, and that's what I started with. just researched his workouts, the Dwayne Johnson workout program. First thing that fucking popped up, guess what I was doing? But don't quit because of the results. Don't quit because of how you feel people are thinking about you or whatever, and work your ass off. And the soreness goes away. Listen to your body. If your fucking right leg is dying and you're like, I have to run today, well, maybe it's time to take a break, Don't fucking blow a fucking hamstring or anything.
Yeah, definitely not worth it.
No, I've got worst fucking feeling ever. Because you can feel the fucking muscle just.
That was my MCL.
Yeah, it didn't really hurt. It was actually in the police academy when I did mine. Didn't fucking hurt like massive pain, but just that weird feeling of you could feel the muscle tighten, then you could feel it just fall apart. It's like, ugh.
It's kind of like a ugh.
Yeah. What the fuck was
my
that?
My leg was like dangling, and I was like, ugh.
No, ACL, man. You don't really recover from ACL. That's what I hear. Not fully. Like, you have to be careful after that.
The part wasn't that bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a partial tear. Then I had a really bad bone contusion on top of that, so like it made it even worse. Yeah. So here I am now.
Yeah, still working your ass off and powerlifting, doing what you got.
Trying to make the best of it.
Yeah. So what else we got for Carly? Is that it?
That seemed to be pretty much it. Yeah. The other one you answered earlier on the podcast. So.
Oh, all right, gotcha. We've been through a lot of rants so far. It's gonna be good. All right, so like I said, we'll get to, so what we did was we went and asked the Axe and Sledge. There's Axe and Sledge page on Facebook. If you want to meet a lot of hardworking motherfuckers, go to it. Follow it. It's an awesome group of people. Not just the demo crew on there, but just a whole bunch of awesome individuals. Always talking about Axe and Sledge Supplements, so prepare for that. But we asked them, and then we went to the demo crew page and asked them for questions as well, and this is what we got. Just share the screen. Boop.
Almost timed that perfectly.
All right, I think this is from, the Axe and Sledge page. Okay, so, oops. If you guys don't want your names on here, that sucks because this is what we're doing. So let's see. First question is from John Wilson, which is a Demo Crew Elite member. Once this lockdown is over, what do you want to do first? Food, train, travel. What have you missed? And by the way, both these questions are for both of us. I wanted to get a little more involved with this one because Dante, you're your own host, so I feel like it's like a partnership with you being on here. I think it's cool. So anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, good. Let's see, when lockdown is over. Well, during lockdown I like to go fishing and stuff, but definitely when lockdown's over, I definitely want to hit up the beach or something and go deep sea fishing. That's one of my goals, what I want to do once all this shit opens up. I go deep sea fishing again, and definitely want to start competing again once everything evens out. So that's what you want to do: deep sea fishing and competing. What about you, Steve? How you feeling?
Well, is there any food that you want? Because I know I'm fucking craving some food that I haven't had in a while.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe Cheesecake Factory. I could use a good piece of cheesecake, man.
It's the little things.
This is me and cheesecake, man. It's something else. That's my weakness. My junk food weakness is cheesecake. Good old red velvet cheesecake.
Yeah, no, my junk food weakness is gummy bears. Not because of Seth Rossi having a gummy bear fucking thing, but always been gummy bears, dude. Always. I could be on a fucking perfect diet, and then someone brings in gummy bears, I'm in trouble. But all right, for me, what do I want to do is I'm probably going to be like I call it being a basic bitch, but go out to just take my family out to a nice dinner. We used to try to do it every now and then, like, once every other week or something, and we haven't been able to do that. and I think we're all getting stir crazy. We have a lot of good food joints here in Havasu. So I think that's my number one thing with the family, at least, is I want to go to a nice dinner, sit down, enjoy people's company, and just see people get together again, instead of being all fucking separated and just doing social media shit.
Right.
Yeah, but there's that. Uh training. Honestly, like I've been doing a lot of in my garage gym. I don't have like the machines and all that stuff, and I mean I miss the machines because it really isolates a certain muscle group that you want, or a certain part of the muscle group. But in my garage gym I just have like free weights and like flat bench and barbell and shit like that. So
Right.
I've been doing a lot more powerlifting workouts, and it kind of reminded me how much I enjoy lifting heavy weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for training, I'm gonna start powerlifting a shit ton again. Kind of miss it after doing my garage workouts and doing more powerlifting exercises or workouts. Yeah, I think it turned that little fucking flame on again.
You should definitely look into power building. Like I talked to Dallas about it a little bit ago, but she has a power building too. It's like you start off with the powerlifting sets, and then like your accessories, which is straight bodybuilding, so you get the 2-in-1 factor.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, you're gonna have to send me a link to that. That'd be pretty legit.
Yeah, Michael Hearn does it a lot, so that's how I kind of learned about it.
Yeah, I've actually did the Seth Froese 12-week program that he set up.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I took a lot of workouts from that, and then I kind of molded it into my own. But just for what was comfortable for me, I guess. And yeah, I mean that worked out pretty good. But right now, I'm not able to do half of those or quite a bit of those because of the machines and
Yeah, right.
shit like that. But like I said, dude, I'm gonna really get into power building. I'm gonna be talking to you a lot more about power building or powerlifting.
Right. Feel free.
But I mean, travel. For traveling, honestly, I haven't been able to see my family in California. My wife's side of the family is here in Arizona in Lake Havasu, but my side of the family is still in Lake County, about 15 hours away or whatever. And I haven't seen them since all this shit started, because I usually try to go up there every like 4 months or 5 months or whatever. And it's getting that time. We do the face or the Skype chats and stuff like that, and
Right.
my kids are missing their grandparents, and I know they're missing us. So it'd be nice to just go up there, take like a week or two off of work, and just fucking get some family time, some quality time with them.
Right. I like it.
But all right, so Paul Sanders, for both of you, what style of training do you do typically, and why versus other styles of training, and what are your goals with it? We covered quite a bit of that. Do you have anything to add, Dante?
I can just do a little recap. Yeah, like me, like I said before, like I'm kind of seasonal, especially in college I was mainly seasonal because I had to be. Right now I have a little more freedom what I want to do. So especially like after the powerlifting cycle's over, I definitely want to like kind of do like a merger hybrid kind of thing, like more endurance along with power and stuff, and try to find an even medium before everything, because I want to be functional and fit and strong, like Seth says, functional and fuckable, or whatever he says, or I want to be a functional and fit, I want to look the part as well as do the part. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Let's see. For me, I mean, like I said, I kind of got into bodybuilding just because I've never wanted to. I've kind of thought about competing, but I've never like pursued it hardcore. I've just been about. I mean, like I said, it's kind of like the gym's kind of like a need thing, and I love going to the gym. It's like a hobby now, But I don't know. I just I never thought about competing, like actually pursuing it, and I think now it's time. Like I started doing the bodybuilding thing because I'm just always for a really good, awesome workout. So that's why I did this. That's why I switched to Seth Froese thing.
Maybe I'll start doing. Like I said, like maybe next year, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna switch to bodybuilding or powerlifting for a little while. And I mean, I might pursue it. They have a couple places down here. I think that Phoenix, which is like 2 hours away, holds a lot of high end competitions down there, and for powerlifting. And I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll pursue it, but I'm gonna just get into it first, and hopefully not break anything in my body, and by trying to be.
Just get the foundation.
Yeah. No, it's like I used to fucking warm up with 315, and now it's like one of my finishers. Just because I've been bodybuilding workouts for so long, you don't really max out with doing like that kind of style of training.
Your muscle memory should be coming back because my dad's training with me right now too, and he hasn't trained heavy in years, and like he's coming back pretty quickly. But you got to watch out because he's older now, so he's come back a little slower than he should. But he's feeling that strength coming back. I see it in his eyes.
Yeah. So Christian Lopez, I like your question, man. Yes.
Yes. Is that a rhetorical question? Maybe.
Yeah.
Not meant to be answered. Yes, Christian. The push-up king himself. Shout out Christian Lopez and all his crazy-ass push-ups he does.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll mirror that one. No, I'm not mirroring that one. Fuck that. I'll stick to my standard basic bitch push-ups.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hell yes, can't wait. My question, favorite Axe and Sledge flavor. Again, mine's unicorn blood, hands down. I'm a rainbow sherbet kind of guy. Unicorn blood. That's all. Unicorn blood. Dante, what about you?
Well, I don't really have a favorite flavor, I'd say, but I guess I really like the cookies and cream and apple cinnamon farm fed. But like, mainly for my pre-workouts and stuff, I'll have like a hydraulic that's like scorpion venom or grind that's like swamp beast, and I just mix them all together and I just chug it down. I don't even worry about the flavor for that. So I kind of make like the voodoo flavor, I guess I can call it, just the mumbo jumbo flavor or whatever you want to call it. But definitely the farm feds are definitely my favorite kind of flavors.
Like unicorn venom or scorpion blood.
Dude, I don't even know. It's probably some Frankenstein combination.
Shit. Boop. There. All right. That was from Dominic. Drew Kaminsky, another Demo Crew Elite member. What shoes did you buy, Dante?
Yeah, and for Drew's podcast, the question I asked is like, what Nike shoes should I buy? Since I had some gift cards, and I ended up buying some. And they're coming I think the 13th. Bought 2 different pairs. Now I reached out to Drew on his opinion, and he's a big Air Force One kind of guy. Granted, I don't need those kind of shoes right now because I rock a decent pair of LeBrons, which he approves of. So I ended up getting for a running shoe, I got the Nike Downshifter 9, the men's running shoe, size 12.5. And then I've kind of bought like a cross trainer shoe as well for times when I don't feel like running far and it's something for the gym. I got the Nike Varsity Compete TR2.
So I got a question for you, Dante. So do you feel like so I've had the same shoe, like I said, when I was in the police academy, I was kind of like a fat guy,
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting shin splints and all this other shit. But anyway, so I went to this place called Fleet Feet, and they have a little track inside their place, and they measure your feet and see where your faults are with how you're running, and they'll like mold the shoe to assist you run. And anyway, so I ended up getting a $200 pair of shoes, and they were New Balances, and they actually instead of running on the outside of my foot like you're supposed to, I guess I was running on the inside, and that's why my fucking ankles just fucking went out on me. So
right.
The shoes were supposed to help me run on the outside of my shoe, and I've had those since till this day. But do you feel like having different shoes for like running and your gym or squats? They have the squat shoes now, or the bench shoes and all that shit. Do you think that actually improves your workouts or like your mobility and stuff like that?
Yeah, 100%. I have different shoes for squatting, for deadlifting and such. I usually use the Chuck Taylors. I can squat in those usually. But once I know I have a workout where I'm like squatting like 450 plus or 500 plus, I have my parents got me a pair of I think it's Reebok or Adidas. I can't believe I forgot the brand, but I got the Heel It Up powerlifting shoes, and I use that for my squats, or if I ever try to power clean my version of that. But I'm a big fan of Chuck Taylors for an overall gym shoe. Definitely for running. I wouldn't recommend wearing like Jordans or like a Chuck Taylor or something. Like you said, you got your form fitted shoe. Like, granted, I have trail shoes for when I run in the woods because you pretty much immune to any terrain and weather condition. But the running shoe I got now, I just looked at something that had decent reviews. I wasn't looking to spend a lot of money on something, just something that I can just run around the neighborhood in. I like my shoes are just very versatile. I do agree with what you said though, like different shoes for different kind of lifts, because especially for squats and deadlifts, I like to be flat on the foot. I know there's one shoe I've been looking at that I really want to get. It's Chris Duffin's. He's been endorsing it. I don't know if you know who Chris Duffin is, but it's called Barefoot. He's a big proprietor of barefoot lifting. So the shoe really forms with your bare foot. So instead of like a Chuck Taylor, how it's more like narrow and stuff, it's kind of like wider, and like I'll just get link later about it or something, but it looks pretty cool. It's like just really flat and like looks just like it's like comfortable. You'll see it when I send it to you, but the barefoot shoe, that's something I want to look into.
Oh, okay. I might. I feel like I need to switch it up because I'm running, and man, I had these shoes for years, and now I can feel like every fucking rock and every.
Yeah, I have these JJ Watt the Reebok shoes I've had for 2 years, and I just tore up the laces today, and like there's like holes in them, and they were cross trainer shoes, so they're not really made for running like distance, but I did it anyways. But something for distance, that has the cushion, the support, the shocks like that are used to it. It's like something like that would help out.
Oh, I tried those. I had tried those. What is it? They have those memory foam inserts now. Fucking, I'm not a big fan at all. Like at all. I feel like my foot moves. Yeah, I feel like my foot moves like it. Like if you're running, okay, and you're running like on the outside of your foot, it feels like my foot's fucking. It's like trying to mold too much to my foot, so it's moving too much in there. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's not just something solid against your foot. It's always trying to mold to a fucking new thing you're doing. And I don't like it.
My buddy has plantar fasciitis, so he has to like when he played rugby, he had those inserts in his shoes. I never tried insoles. I never got my foot measured or my running tested. I know I run like a freaking washing machine. I think that's what someone told me I look like I run when I play rugby. They say I'm like the fastest, slowest looking runner ever, because I'm actually pretty fast. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but they say I just look like I'm so slow when I run, but it's just like look like a washing machine. I believe someone said that.
Like a slow motion runner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how does he I take off and they're like, how the hell does that guy move like that?
He ran 100 yards.
Running like I got the lats going, I can't tight. That's funny.
Oh god. All right, so next question from Drew. Wheelbarrow.
Yeah, the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, the wheelbarrow. Yeah, here we go. Now it's time. I was always curious about this one.
This is like kind of like a inside joke. I actually don't remember when it started, or to be honest, how it started, but I just know it started. I believe it was between me, Carly, and Tony Davis. I think Carly was giving attitude or trying to make a joke or something in the group, and I said or Tony had a wheelbarrow or something. He probably knows more than I do how it started, but I swear we joked around about it, like saying like, "Oh, I gotta put Carly in the wheelbarrow and push her around or something if she keeps misbehaving or keeps talking crap." And so ever since then, every time like we see Tony like saying like a smart ass comment or something, I'll put the wheelbarrow in there saying we're gonna wheel you away or something, we're gonna wheel her away.
Oh, I got you.
So I guess it's something like that. It was a long time ago, like when the Denver crew first started forming, I believe, even like a little bit after that. It's just kind of like a little inside joke, and I guess it's starting to expand with the other members of the elite now.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I've heard it a couple times. I'm like, the fuck? Did they like party sometime? You get hammered and have to Get pushed
That's a
around the
good
road.
idea. New shirt idea. New shirt idea alert. New shirt idea alert.
Yeah, it's fucking wheelbarrow with Dante in it because he's hammered.
Pushing Carly in a wheelbarrow.
Doing a fucking Spartan race.
That's one of the events. Yes, I love it.
Oh god, fucking Tony. So, how did Dante and Carly meet? You kind of already covered it. You want to backtrack on that a little bit for this guy?
Yeah, she followed me on Instagram, and I sent her a message, and like I said, it was all cupcakes and rainbows after that.
Gotta love Instagram. Hey,
She actually said that her famous pickup line was, I actually was like trying to mess with her, like troll her kind of. I was just kind of like, I was bored. I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. And then one thing led to another, and she's like, oh, we can go work out at that gym and get the best protein ever after. And she's like, drinks. And I was like, sold. Trying to convince me that beer equals protein, huh? Not sure about that one, Carly.
Hey, I hear it's good. I don't know.
You got the carbs. You got the carbs. The post-workout carbs. You know.
Hey, you got the carbs. You got the protein. You got the texture. You're good.
Oh, and it also mixes very well with Corona and Farm Fed. Corona and Farm Fed's a good mixture. If you remember that one.
Yeah, that's gross.
That's one try, man.
Yeah. Hey, no, you won that battle, right? This one for me, Steven. How does your chest feel after all these push-ups? Man, I will tell you right now, like, I don't know who the hell started this 30-day 20 push-up challenge. Holy shit, dude. Like, I feel like I swear time is going by really slow when it comes to those videos because I feel like I've been doing it for like fucking 4 months now. Like, it's never ending. Yeah, chest ain't that, the chest isn't that sore, but that's just fucking, like, I'll be getting ready to lay down for bed and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking, I forgot these push-ups, I'm gonna knock them out real quick and go in the living room and just push them up. But it feels like it's going on. I think I'm on like day 20. But yeah, Drew, if you're not doing them yet, you're gonna get called out next time. Just saying.
Yeah, I just got called out by Paul Sanders. He's like, "How's no one ever called Dante out yet?" And I was like, "Oh god, here we go again." I think it was called out before, but I just completely forgot to do them. So I guess I gotta double it up or something. Yeah.
Mine was
Drew. Watch out, maybe you're on my list.
Yeah, Drew, guy. If you're not a part of this push-up thing, I'm on day 20. Okay, I only have 10 more days left, and it feels like I've been doing it for 6 months. But like mine was Brooke Sepp, demo crew lead. Yeah, I was like, who am I gonna call out? You know what? You know who would probably not like this just as much as me is Brooke. So I'll call her out. I think she like made a comment and like on it. I think she like commented on someone's push-ups and like, oh, thank God no one called me out yet or something like that. That would suck. And I was like, huh. Oh, okay.
Dude, I know better than the call out Christian, man. He'll show me up so bad. I'll just so much shame. I'm like,
I know. And he looks like he's always doing it at work too.
Yeah, that's sick, man. He always finds the time to put next to work, and I love it.
Yeah, he's always doing these fucking push-ups, these crazy-ass push-ups. I think the craziest ones I did was one-armed for Tony Davis, which, you know, he's healing up pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he's going to bounce back pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Quickly once it's over. That muscle memory is just going to be like, bam.
Yeah. Yeah, so all right, so that's the Axe and Sledge page. This next one, I actually just posted this recently. Oh, sorry, excuse me.
Boy.
People talking shit.
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, this one I actually just posted, I think, yesterday. But yeah, this one is from Tony Davis himself. I'm getting all this shit. It popped up. One for failure. What's heavier, the burden of dealing with Carly all the time, or Carly Jones in the wheelbarrow? Lose situation. And there you go, Dante, the wheelbarrow.
What's heavier, the burden of dealing with her all the time, or in the wheelbarrow? I'd say all the time because I'm pretty strong and I don't even care who's in that wheelbarrow. It could be, I could carry 3 tons of weight in that wheelbarrow. I think I can still push that thing, but the burden of dealing with her all the time, I feel like only a certain guy can do that. I'm happy that it's me that I could put up with that burden. If it even is a burden, I don't call it a burden. That was Tony's words, not mine. I'm safe. I'm just repeating what I'm supposed to say.
All right. So, hey, Carly, I just want to let you know that I do not condone this behavior.
Great. Thought you had my back.
Hey, Carly, give me a picture of him sleeping on the couch after this podcast.
Probably be me outside, actually.
Yeah, outside in the doghouse.
I don't even get that privilege.
All right, so that was all those questions. And how long have we been on? Been on for.
I have a stopwatch on an hour and 40 minutes almost.
Damn. So, Dante, I got one more question for you. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people. I mean, I know we've talked.
Hear it.
Yeah, I know we've talked about the DemoCast podcast that you were doing with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if you want to touch on why he left or whatnot. If not, I know that there's a lot of people wondering how the podcast, what your plans are for the podcast, the future of your podcast, because you guys kind of double teamed it and now he's gone. And I know we've talked about it, but,
Yeah, I'll talk about what my future plans are for it. So originally, we did the DemoCast and, obviously stuff happened. Things change like life does. We just move on.
Yeah.
So what I plan on is I still want to involve the demo crew and like what we're doing now, just get kind of like people's stories out. I kind of want to target a little bit more of like shorter stories and keep it going a little bit, like kind of like shorter videos and podcasts rather, if we could. Obviously if someone has a long story to tell, I'm not going to cut them off at 29 minutes, 28 seconds or whatever. But I think I'm going to start also doing other types of podcasts as well on top of this. And I'm still formulating a name and something, but the DemoCast is still going to be there. It's going to be like a sub category. So I'm going to have like my main thing, and I'm going to kind of like branch it out in different options and kind of like hit different topics and different things. And our main focus, obviously, because that's what I want to do. I want to share everyone's stories like Steve does, because that's all we're here for is each other. We're actually here for the people, It's not every day that someone gets to, share their story with a whole bunch of people. Not everyone has the time, type messages through Facebook all the time and say like, oh, I did this. So that's what we do this for. But yeah, I definitely want to keep doing what I'm doing. Kind of put my own touch on it and definitely, start sharing other kind of podcast ideas. So if you have any kind of other ideas that you guys have, I'm also working with Cody Ham Graphics as well, trying to help him out because he's on school for that as well, like what we talked about in my last podcast with him. And he's pretty excited for it. I'm pretty excited to work with him. So, everything's still like up in the air of what the final direction is going to be, but I'm definitely narrowing it down.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know I've enjoyed your guys' podcast when you guys were together. I know this last one, I think it was a bang up job, especially when like Mike, he was a talker, and seeing you get out there like that, I mean, dude, it's cool. I really like seeing you being the host and being able to do it your own way. I think it's going to be a good big change for you guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely something I'm not used to doing. So I enjoyed it a lot, especially when I figure out it's going to take some time and, effort to figure out like exactly the final step of it. But I think I'm on a good path. Doing this one with you helped me figure a lot more shit out myself. So it's going to be pretty good, especially when I start putting my own twist of things on it.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, man. I do. I mean, this is cool. I'm glad that we did this because, like we told a couple of people that follow us or that like are on the demo crew and Axe and Sledge page that we're going to be working together. You know, I know that before we'd have like one person on my podcast and then you guys would have that person on yours, or you guys do, and you guys would have somebody and then I'll have them on like 2 weeks later. And we're doing the same story. You know what I mean? We're doing the same podcast.
Yeah.
And they're just like repeating their story. And I know that we're communicating now. So, I mean, that doesn't happen. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of fun stuff to come. I don't really want to spoil it.
Yeah, we got a lot of ideas, especially when the two of us, like, learning how to host better. And not trying to like spoil anything, but you can expect us to be able to manage bigger audiences per se. I guess that's good enough.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some fuckery involved, and might even throw some giveaways in there. And but anyways, I think this is gonna be a good thing. Us partnering up like that, and every now and then we're just gonna
live for something big, maybe like some extravaganza. You guys will, you guys should enjoy it whenever we get everything going. So
yeah, definitely, it's gonna be good times for sure. But Dante, is there anything you want to tell anybody that's listening about your story or about motivation or anything at all? Powerlifting, that's a big one for me. I'm gonna be talking to you.
I'm just a regular guy, just like most of you guys. Yeah. Said I'm just a regular guy that's I'm sure a lot of other people in my boat started off lazy, not actually realizing what your true potential could be. I realize like right now that if I can go back in time and tell my past self what I know now, I probably would be in a whole different area than I am right now. I don't regret. I mean, I kind of regret that, but as I am now, I don't regret anything I did because it led me on the path I am now, and that path forever has changed me as a human, and I'm so grateful for it. If you're young and don't know what you're doing, go up to someone like me in your high school or in college and ask them questions, because they're not going to turn you down, because chances are they've been where I was, and other people have been where I was, always being like second place, third place, not trying to put that effort in, not realizing actually where you could go in life with what the ability you have if you start at a young age. So I say if you have a kid or something, start them in sports young, really like encourage them to put the game down and go outside for a run or a jog. That's pretty much what I have to say. Start young.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing. Growing up out in the sticks when you're working and you have quads and all that stuff. I mean, it's a blessing just because I had that, exercise.
I got nothing against like playing games and stuff at a young age or something. I'm still a huge video game nerd, but don't let it consume your life and become addicted.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. But all right, so everybody listening to this podcast, and if you want to listen to Dante's podcast, it's called Democast. Dante, your podcast is on your YouTube page, right?
Yeah, YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah. So, anyways, go ahead and listen to those. They're good. I've heard I just started on the video podcast, and I think it's going pretty good. The last one I did with Martin, hell of a story. But anyways, again, this podcast is for everybody that's like us, that has a story to tell. The hardworking motherfuckers of the world, just trying to fucking make a difference in their life. And I'm sure that Dante can agree. We're just trying to get that one person that hears this and it changes their life. That's what our goal is. Just bear that one person and get a couple views and a couple follows and all that stuff. But I mean, it's not about that. It's all about the people, like you said, Dante.
Yeah, I could care less if 2 people watch, as long as those 2 people that listen to that story made a difference, or made that guy's day, or it is for them. Like hearing those people's stories, hearing the excitement in their voice that they actually finally get a chance, express who they are to this group. Just a feeling like I never had before. Like I was just like, wow, maybe I can actually do something good with this.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dante, I do appreciate your time, man. I
appreciate the communication having me on.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. We have big things coming. Look forward to it. Go ahead and like this podcast, share it with anybody and everybody, so we can at least so we could hit people, hit it home with them. that actually need it. If you have anybody that's down or that needs some motivation, go ahead and share the podcast. I know Dante has one that's really good too. Share his as well. That's how we change lives. One person at a time.
How we do it.
Yeah. But all right, Dante, again, it's always a pleasure, man. We'll be communicating. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, not a problem. Have a good one, Steve.
All right, later.